Welcome back to She Rules the Waves. We ended last season with a sail in one of the many stunning Swedish archipelagos. But now I'm back in France with Sedna to start preparing for this season's adventure. The waterways are still closed and I won't be able to go anywhere until spring. But it's not like there's no work to be done anyway. So let's get a short recap and then jump back to October in 2022 and figure out what to do now. This is Sedna. She's a beautiful Olympic 42 catch and just a couple of years younger than me, Linus Jackson, a Swedish musician and sailor, trying to be the best captain I can be for her. Last year, we sailed the Mediterranean on the first leg towards her new home up north, but came up short due to low water levels in the canals. This year the journey continues and the hunt for deeper waters is on. So, it's an insanely early October morning and the stars guide me to my cab that will take me to the train station. I haven't been to see Sedna since I left her in August and I'm very excited about this, but I'm also very tired. I'll have a quick breakfast in the Star Alliance lounge before getting some well-deserved sleep on the plane. I am an experienced traveler, but the mesmerizing sunrises over the slightly curved horizon and the view of the mighty snow-capped Alps will never get boring. And after arriving in Marseille, I'll get a rental car to take me the last leg. But first I need to stop by French IKEA to get some new pots and pans that's suitable for the induction plate I bought in the Italian IKEA. Then it's time to move on along the pretty nice lake, Étang de Berre, and some not so nice industrial wastelands, towards the goal of the trip, Port Saint-Louis-de-Rhône, and Port Navy Service, the temporary home of my beloved Sedna. It is pretty dusty everywhere. Yep, except for the dirt and dust, she's in really good shape. No mold, only minor leaks, and the main battery had plenty of juice left. The 12-volt battery though, not so much. But more about that later. All in all, I'm delighted to be back. Alright, now I'm here. Today's a pretty nice day. It's like 23 degrees and not very windy, but it's going to be rain tomorrow and Sunday, unfortunately. But that means I'll probably get a lot of things done below deck. But yeah, that battery that I had a problem with before is totally dead now. So I'm not surprised. It's just very annoying since it was new just a few months ago. So I gotta figure that out. Well, the evening is already upon us, and the big figuring out will have to wait until tomorrow. But the main question is more general. What to do now? I was thinking I should talk a little bit about plans versus reality. As you knew, the plan for this summer was that we were sailing from Pescara around Italy, through Sardinia and Corsica, up to France, and then we were supposed to go in the inland waterways all the way up to, well, maybe Holland, maybe Germany, and then the last bit up to Sweden. That didn't happen, obviously, due to lack of water in the inland waterways, pretty much. It's been a hot and dry summer, and that means that the water levels were so low that there were no way that my boat could have made it through the more shallower parts. When getting into the inland waterways, you go into the Ronde and then move up north, and then after a while you get to a canal called Canal de Vosges, and there's just a 180 centimeter draft there, and that's pretty much what Sedna goes. So as soon as the water levels go down, there's no way I can get through there. There is another way called the Champagne-Bourgogne Canal, but it's the same thing. It's a little longer, it's a little bit more secure, but this summer it was also hopeless. So that's why I got stuck down here in Port-Saint-Louis-de-Rome. So what I gotta do now is I gotta wait and hope that it's a really wet winter and there's a lot of water in the canals in spring, so I can move on. But I have to be ready, of course. I have to have plan B. Plan B is doing the long way around, all the way down to the Balearics, Spain, Gibraltar, up to Portugal, and of course across the Bay of Biscay, and then move up through the English Channel, and then I could go into the Netherlands or whatever. There is of course a lot of problems with this trip too, and it is at least twice the length, and I don't have that much time in summer, and we have the horrible orca situation going on over here. So I guess I just have to wait and see how rainy and wet it gets this winter and see if the canals and the waterways are going to fill up. We'll see. Either way, somehow I will get home. But for now, I'll just enjoy this quiet evening and the full moon. Are those werewolves? Good morning. It's time to get into project mode. Before I start with the electrics, I'll check why the manual part of the windlass doesn't work. Okay, so I'm looking into why I can't hoist the anchor manually, and what I figured out is there's supposed to be a key here, I guess. But there isn't. So I assume that's the problem, because everything else seems to work and it's well greased and everything. So, how do I get that? Hey guys, so excuse my very greasy demeanor today. I'm gonna go through what the problem is with the electric system so that I can fix it, or at least temporarily fix it. I guess one of the problems is that it was temporarily fixed, but I did buy a new 12-volt battery. Okay, yeah, so what I did is I did buy a brand new 200 amp hours 12-volt battery, but for some reason during the engine fixing in Ortona, I have no idea what went wrong, but something went wrong, and so the 48 to 12-volt Orion converter for some reason just didn't put out more than 10 volts. I have no idea how that happened. But that meant that the battery didn't charge. So we went down to 10 volts for a very long time. And suddenly all the instruments started switching and blinking and stuff like that. And I realized something was wrong. And I couldn't figure this out. I must say though that the people at Victron and the Solokraft, where I bought the converter, they exchanged it right away. So no problem. So I'm going to install the new one now and see if I can figure it out. Unfortunately, I do think that the battery is toast, but I'm recharging it now to check its condition. And then I'll try to figure out one way to connect all these things, except the windlass, directly to the DC converter. And either way, I'm going to have a separate battery for the windlass, because that puts out like, I don't know, 160 amps or something like that. And it's way too much for the Orion. All right, let's go. Okay, so what I've done here now is that I've replaced this Orion DC to DC converter, and this one actually puts out 12.3, which is good, and you can tweak that if you want to. And I moved the shunt for the BMW 712. As I said, this is definitely not permanent. I'm just trying and see if everything works before I actually install everything the way I want it. Temporary is my mantra, as you know. So this shunt shows the draw from the 12-volt system only. And this is the starter battery, so I can monitor that too. So there's no battery anymore, no 12-volt battery, at least not for the moment. But I'm going to have to get a new battery to connect the windlass. And I will also use the Cyrix that I've used before for the engine to charge the windlass battery. And I'm also thinking about, I'm not sure if this is correct, but I'm thinking about maybe doing a switch so I could actually use the 12-volt system from both from here and from the windlass, like a main switch. What do you think about that? Is that crazy?
Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments. And while you do that, I'll head out to get some dinner and beer at the local restaurant, Le Yacht Club. They have amazing food and they always play interesting live music videos on the monitors. It's a great way to discover new music. And they do have one of the coolest pimped out restrooms I've ever seen. Nautical themes, anyone?
That's a pretty cool boat. It doesn't have a keel though. Hey people, I've had a great day. I've been really busy and I actually had a lot of troubleshooting to do, but I think I figured it out. There's a lot of cables going all over the bilge in this boat, and some of them now I know what they actually do. That's cool. And I've been to the restaurant, having dinner, a couple of beers, enjoying myself, and now I'm taking it easy, watching some other YouTubers doing their thing on the tube. And, of course, hanging out with Lazie.
I've been so lonely here without you. But you're already getting on my nerves.
Yeah. All right. So tomorrow morning, we'll hit it again and try to finish the panel. Sleep tight.
Yes, it is finally time for the electric panel to be replaced, but that's next time. Thanks so much for joining us for Season 3, and I hope you'll check out Instagram, Facebook, and maybe even consider becoming a patron for exclusive updates and other goodies. But for now, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell, and until next time, take care.